know why. So let's straighten it out, get it worked out. You know, I'm so excited. I'm nervous. I'm never nervous. Why am I nervous? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But let me make it public. People are starting to come in. Let me make it public so people can see. People can see. Let me make it public. Let me make it public. All right. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. And some people call me Little Boy. That's Luku Boy, going all the way back to the 767. It's now public. It's now public, and you can share. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. And some people call me Mr. Bardui, going all the way back to the 767. Whitey Kubuli, tall is her body, the Commonwealth of Dominica. Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. I hope you people are doing very well. If you're from Point Michelle, the enclave of La Pointe, you call me Luku Boy. That's for little boy. I know I'm 6 foot tall, but you guys, back in the day, I was really short. Really short. Tonight, I have a very, very special guest. And as people are starting to come in, maybe I should play a little music for you guys. You know, I don't know what I want to play, but let me take a look here. I don't know. I don't think I want to play She's a Bad Mama Jamma. So I might get disfellowshipped. Let's play a little of some good memories. Let me turn it up.
We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories.
Shit alive.
Good vibes, yeah,
go on your devices and shit alive, yes.
And we ain't gonna worry, ain't need a hurry. Everything is going our way. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories.
Yes.
Everybody's moving to the song on the radio. A little Stevie Wonder never hurt nobody's soul.
Yes.
Something about lawn chairs out in the warm air feels like a sacred place.
Summer's coming.
'Cause when we all get together, every day is a holiday.
We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. Yes. All right. Let me stop this. You know, I am so excited tonight. I have a very special guest, and I want to give her the time. How are you people doing? Let me see who's put something in the chat for me so I can give them a shout out. I want to say welcome to Andrea Hill. Oh my gosh, you need to be on Tuesdays with Terrence. What do I got to do to get you on there with your travel business? Delphina LeBlanc all the way in Ottawa, Canada. Robin Martin in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. As people are starting to come in, you know what? I was trying to find my theme song, but maybe I should I do good memories again? Because I want more people to come in as we start. But as I'm trying to find my theme song, I'm so excited tonight. I have a very, very special guest. You can see the name scrolling at the bottom. And I'm going to tell you something, right? Everybody, well, I'll wait about what I'm about to say. I'll wait what I'm about to say about her because I'm going to make her flustered because I am celebrating her tonight. I am so excited. I mean, I've seen her husband. I've seen her kids. I met her parents. And I'm so excited for her on my show tonight. So for those of you who are on there, make sure you get excited. This woman is a very virtuous woman of God. However, don't let her soft voice, don't let it fool you. She's powerful. She's brilliant. And I'm going to celebrate her tonight. But just before we do that, let's play some good memories again. Some good memories as people come in.
We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories.
Play something else? No, I'm not playing nothing else, Andrea Hill.
Yeah, that's all.
When you come on, you'll see what I put on.
And we ain't gonna worry, ain't in a hurry. Everything is going our way. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. Everybody's moving to the song on the radio.
Ow!
A little Stevie Wonder never hurt nobody's soul. Something about long chairs out in the warm air feels like a sacred place. 'Cause when we all get together, every day is a holiday.
That's right. Every day is a holiday. Folks, I am so excited tonight. I'm going to start my show. My name is Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Hewitt. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. And some people call me Little Boy. That's for Luka Boy, going all the way back to the 7'6'7". Whitey Kubuli, tall as her body, the Commonwealth of Dominica. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. For those of you in New York, you know, I wanted to play your New York Knicks, but you all choked. So my Celtics played tonight. I have a team meeting with my team at 8:05, so I'm going to miss some of the game. But tonight, I'm trying to find my theme song because I'm so excited. I'm usually under control, but I'm a little nervous tonight because I have a professional on, as someone I highly respect. So I'm going to play my theme song, and then we're going to start the show. Good evening, Miss Peach Goodwill, and all others who are watching. If you don't say hello, I can't shout you out. I don't know where you're watching from. You got to say hello to me. If you don't say hello to me or to my guest, I can't shout you out. So here goes our theme song as we start Tuesdays with Terrence. That's my baby sister all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Snellville, wife of Naturally 7 Warren Thomas. Yes, my baby sister, Manny Thomas. You know, I could be a star to be on my show. I got a superstar tonight.
Family, come as you
Come, family.
With just your heart, and I'll help you win. Are you rejected or hurt? Tell me your word, much more than you put in.
I don't need no superstars, but I got one tonight.
I don't need no superstar, 'cause I'll accept you as you are. You won't be denied, 'cause I'm satisfied with the help that I can provide. You don't have to be rich, family, to be on my show. You don't have to have a million, family, to be on my show.
Boom. I'm hoping my guest is sharing this live so that her friends and family can watch tonight. I am so excited. I want to say welcome to all my regulars who are watching, whether it's from the Caribbean, from Canada, Europe, Mexico, wherever you're watching tonight. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. I'm so excited. You know, this is a financial services show where I talk about non-traditional financial concepts. But, you know, this is our 4th year, and I'm celebrating 4 years of Tuesdays with Terrence. And sometimes I put a twist in it. I bring on other entrepreneurs who are not doing exactly what I'm doing. I bring them on because I value them. I bring them on because I support them. I bring them on because they have something to share. And I bring them on because I respect them. My guest tonight is someone I've known for a few years now. I've only seen in person twice. Last month at a conference. And 2 years ago, I think at a constituency meeting with elected officers. But she is very instrumental. For those of you who know me very well, I'm Seventh-day Adventist. You know, she is as well. And she's the communications director for our conference. But that's not why I'm celebrating her tonight. I'm celebrating her because she is a daughter. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a friend. And she's very inspirational to a lot of us. And tonight, we're going to have a conversation with her. But just before I bring her on, let me unmute her mic and show her face. And then this is what I think of her. I'm unmuting her mic. Let me show her face as I bring her on tonight. All right, let me see her. There she is. Hey, Latasha Hewitt, how are you? How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. You know, some people have been texting me. One of my friends, who's Baptist, they're in the Caribbean. They're in St. Martin. They said I can't watch the show tonight because I'm going to a church program, but I'm going to watch it afterwards. He said your guest is a beautiful lady and she looks very virtuous. I said yes. I said you clicked it. And for those of you who watch my ads, I talked about when you look at her for the first time, you might see dimples. You might see her smile. You might see her resolve. But I see all three of them. And because I see all three of them, I'm going to give her a solo screen. And this is what, not I think of her, I think that's what everybody who knows her thinks of her. And let's play it right now. This is what we think of her.
There is a gentleness about her.
Let me start it over. Let me start it over.
The woman of God is beautiful because there is a gentle.
Come on, man. Come on. Get it right, homie.
A woman of God is beautiful because there is a gentleness about her. There is a peaceful spirit about her. A woman of God is beautiful because she radiates the love of God, the word of God. She strives to be a reflection of Jesus Christ in how she talks, walks, and acts.
That's what I think of you, Miss.
Well, I'm honored. Thank
You're
you.
honored? Well, you're welcome. I hope your husband Andre is watching. I saw him at CamCon. I didn't get to meet him. Next time I'll meet him. I hope your daughters are watching. I know your dad's definitely watching, and some of my colleagues are watching. I want to say welcome to Troy Holt, all the way in the Panhandle, Florida, Pensacola. Good evening, Isabel Joseph Cabon, all the way in the Caribbean in St. Martin watching, and people are watching from all over the Caribbean, Europe, Canada, USA, wherever you guys are watching.
Wow.
If you say hello, I will say hello. If not, you just keep watching. Tonight, I have a very special guest, folks. I brought her on my show because I asked her, because I like her style. And those of you who know me real well, you know that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. What you see is what you get with me. There is nothing false about me. I think when I first met her, my guest, I call her Tasha. She told me it's Latasha, but she said it in a loving way.
Tasha's fine.
She didn't say. She said no. I didn't say Tasha. I said Tisha, Latisha.
Yes, that's
what I said, Latisha, and she corrected me. And I can say this: I've never heard anything bad about you.
Oh no.
There's one person who said something. It was nothing bad, but that person is no longer in our conference, so I don't care about him anyways. But the thing about it is, everyone looks at you, and we look at you very highly, and we love you as a sister. We love you as a colleague. We love you for all the wonderful things you do. So tonight, I said that you are a daughter, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are an entrepreneur, and you're a communications director. We're going to get into all of that, all right? But the first thing I wanted to tell the people, where are you talking to us from right now? Where are you talking to us from right now?
I am outside of Philadelphia. I always I hesitate to say the small towns, but I'm kind of in Saratoga, PA.
Okay.
That's kind of where I live. But before I go any further, I just want to say,
What?
Avis, or should I call you Terrence tonight?
Call me Terrence tonight. Tuesdays with Terrence.
All right, Terrence. I just want to say, if anybody is ever lacking in self-esteem or you just need a boost, you need to get to know Terrence, because no one can make you feel as good about yourself as I think Terrence is. I mean, he has really pumped me up for this interview, and even the promotion of it, I was just so humbled by it. I don't like being in the spotlight. But because you're my friend, Terrence, and because you've shown up when I've asked you to show up, I'm here tonight, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Well, you know what? Fred Betts says that's my baby girl. That's what
my dad.
Hey, Daddy's watching. All right, I love it. So tell us, your father just popped up. I mean, where were you from originally? Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah. I grew up in a small town, South Boston, Virginia. It's close. I always tell people it's like 2 hours west of Richmond, and it's very close to the border of North Carolina. Small town USA. I love where I'm from. Great roots there. I consider myself a country girl down there in Virginia, and so that's where I'm from. Spent all my childhood years there until I went away for college.
Wow. To be honest, I've been there. Actually, I drove through there last Friday. And as a matter of fact, I took a picture that says South Boston, right? But when I was driving, it was blurry. And you know, many times I've driven through there and text you and said,
Yeah.
South Boston. I've been to
Mhm.
your home. I mean, I've sat there with your parents and talked to them, so I know exactly where you grew up in.
I didn't grow up in that house,
You
but
grew
I
up in that house, okay?
No, but I grew up in that town.
In that town,
Yeah.
okay. I know there's a Bojangles there. I was stopped there to get gas in the bathroom. And as a vegan, I always like to take a picture of Bojangles and say, yeah, I'm using the bathroom. Some of my friends will say, oh, are you getting a vegan chicken wing? I'm like, yeah, vegan chicken wing. But you know what? I'm so excited that you're here tonight. You know, you originally from South Boston. You went away to school, and you know now you're in the greater Philly area, and you know your parents did an excellent job. I met them. Your father's a very humble man. That's why I can see where you got that from. Your mother's a lovely lady, very nice as well. But you know what though, you are a daughter, but you're also married to Andre. Tell us a little bit, not too much, but a little bit about Andre, the love of your life. I saw you serenaded him last month at a wedding.
Yeah, we were on vacation. Yeah, so my husband Andre, he is a therapist. He's a behavioral health consultant, and he's been doing that for several years. We met in college. We met at Oakwood College, now University in Huntsville, Alabama. Even though we didn't date while we were in college, that's how we got to know each other. And we dated shortly after he graduated, and got married in 2005. So this year we'll be celebrating 19 years of marriage. And so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, he's also a motorcycle enthusiast, though he doesn't have one. He likes motorcycles. He loves the Bible, anything about Bible trivia, Bible debating. He's all into that. And he likes video games too. He enjoys a good video game here and there. So
I know you also have two daughters. We were at a conference last month that you hosted, and a communications conference, and I was there. And your daughter praise dance. I think it was your older daughter. Is that correct?
That's my youngest daughter.
No, it was your youngest daughter. She was taller than the other one, right?
She is. She's the tallest.
I'm sorry. And then your other daughter is at boarding school up there as well. And I guess those are your joy of your lives. I see all the pictures that you post. I'm always liking them. Tell us a little bit about them, not too much, you know.
Yeah. You know, they don't want me to talk about them too much. But yeah, I love my daughters. They're 15 and 13, soon to be 14 and 16. But my daughters are really my motivation. Everything I do is for them. You know, as a woman, I want to model for them what a woman should be. And one of the reasons why I wanted to explore different things in my life and in my career is so that they could see that they can do multiple things with their lives. They can use their gifts, just like they see their mom trying to do. And so a lot of what I do, I try to engage them more, even with them being at the conference, was because I wanted to involve them in what I do and not just have mom always going off to do something and them not being there. But yeah, my oldest daughter, she is finishing up her freshman year at Pine Forge Academy, and it was a great experience for her. My other daughter's finishing up 7th grade in a couple of weeks, and you know, they're really, like I said, the joy of my life. I love them so much, and I enjoy spending time with them. Like, they're my friends, but they know mom comes first. But we actually enjoy spending a lot of quality time together and having mom and daughter dates and all that stuff. And I value their opinion, and I feel like they value mine. So that's great.
Well, that's awesome. I got 6 sisters, so I definitely know I was in a house with a lot of women myself growing up. So I'm quite familiar with that. But listen, though, you know, you're married to Andre. You have 2 daughters. Yeah. You know, you're the daughter of Fred and Sally. But tonight, I want to celebrate you as an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about you. There's a plethora of things that you do. We will save, you know, Allegheny East for last. But, you know, because I want to concentrate more. And for those of you who are watching, my special guest is Latasha Hewitt. Some of you need to go follow on Latasha Hewitt Homes. Latasha Hewitt Homes is a business page on Facebook. And then you can see she makes some great comments. She gives great tips, whether it's about home buying, credit. You guys need to go on there and do that. And if you're looking to buy a home in the Pennsylvania area, you need to. That's who you should be calling, because she is, the woman. So you're a realtor, all right? But before we get into let's talk about the realtor part first. So what was the impetus for you to become a realtor? I mean, I think it's a noble thing. Sandy is a realtor as well. But you, that's not what she does for work like you. She has a regular job. But she does, she has a license. So what was the impetus for you to become, and Sandy says, welcome, Mrs. Latasha.
Yes,
Latasha Hewitt, your humble spirit. She's your humble spirit. But anyways, what was the impetus for you to go into real estate?
Yeah, I, much like a lot of people, I was very much an HGTV enthusiast. I loved watching. Yeah, I love watching any type of home, like House Hunters or any type of home related show. And I said, well, I can really see myself doing that. I love going into different homes. I love being able to show people different features of a home. And so I was like, this seems like something I would really enjoy doing. And after a while, a few years of just saying that to myself, I said to myself, well, why don't you just do it? And so I actually, enrolled in the class and took the class online, passed, got licensed. And also another big motivation for me is that before I got married, I was looking to buy a home of my own. I wasn't making very much at the time because I just finished up grad school, and I, was trying to get my footing in my career. And I wanted to buy something, once again, being inspired by those people buying homes on HGTV. And I had a home that I was going to purchase. Unfortunately, things did not work out in terms of after the inspection, things weren't great. And I was trying to get out of the contract. But what I didn't realize is that the time to get out of the contract had expired. And I didn't know that because the realtor at the time did not notify me of all of these deadlines and whatnot. And so I lost some money. And I really felt like in that transaction, because it was such a small purchase price, I just did not feel like I was receiving the best customer service. And I said, I don't want this to happen to anyone else. I want to be one of those agents that no matter if it's a $60,000 home or $600,000 home, I'm going to give each customer the same amount of value and the same amount of attention. And so that really motivated me to be one of those people in the spaces advocating for people like me who had been in that situation, just didn't feel very well taken care of. And so, yeah, I wanted to do something like that. And I did this. We're talking about over 15 years ago that I got my license, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, helping people in their home buying and home selling journeys.
Well, that's excellent. I think obviously one of the greatest investments one can do is a home. I have a colleague who says a home is not an investment, but I think it's obviously something you can pass down to, generations. If you look at a lot of, the wealthy families, they pass property down, and that's a good way to start. So, but you're not just a realtor though. You watch HGTV. You're also a mortgage loan officer. I mean, how many do you hold? I mean, girl, you juggle all of that. So, what exactly does a mortgage loan officer does? What exactly is that?
Yeah. So and this is something I just recently added to my tool belt, and that is helping people obtain a mortgage to purchase a home. And that's me also wanting to continue to provide pretty much a service from start to finish, because there were times where I wanted to assist people with that side of things, but because I wasn't licensed, you're not authorized to help people or advise people in that regard. And so I wanted to get my loan officer license, so that at the point that someone says, I'm interested in buying a home, what's my first step? I could step in as the loan officer and share, get the information from them to see how much they qualify for, because that is the first step, seeing how much you are able to borrow for the loan. And so I decided I wanted to go back to be able to help people through every step of the process, from the interest in getting the mortgage to finding the home and walking them all the way through. And so that's my job, to help people find a mortgage that fits their budget, want first-time home buyers, all of that, people who are trying to navigate that process and understand what it takes to purchase a home. Some for the first time, some, just trying to buy a second home or things of that nature, or even refinance. Yeah.
One of my colleagues are watching Troy Holt in Pensacola, Florida, and he also is a mortgage loan officer, I believe, and he's always I always see him putting ads talking about you can be a mortgage loan officer. And all I think some of his team they're licensed like in every state or whatever, or they're authorized in every state to do that, and it's a good thing because now you're not just your tool belt don't have one tool, just a screwdriver. You have a couple of things in there that you can use. And how exactly full service. So it must be fulfilling to you now that you can help people qualify for the loans. And then, when they're ready to purchase a home, they have a realtor there that can help them. And I know that gives you satisfaction, as a realtor doing that. And that's why tonight we're celebrating, my friend Latasha Hewitt, who is, an entrepreneur, a mother, a daughter, a wife, but most importantly, a friend as well. And she's talking about the different things that she does. So you are a realtor. You are a mortgage loan officer. We already said you're a daughter. We always said you're a wife, and a mother. But let me ask you this though. Are you licensed for your real estate license in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? Is that correct?
Yes, Pennsylvania only. You can get licensed, like as you mentioned, in other states. I have not yet done that, so I'm only licensed in Pennsylvania.
Well, the only reason I ask is because I know Greater Philly is close to Jersey as well. A lot of people work in Philly live in Jersey, and I was just thinking, for example, like me as a financial professional licensed, I'm licensed in over 23 states, and basically I'll get licensed wherever someone needs my help. And
right.
So sometimes if it's not lucrative enough, I'll pass it along to a colleague. Right. But if it's something that's can benefit me, I will do that. So that's the reason I ask. And it's not a tiss. It's just more of,
yeah, absolutely.
Just expanding your tool belt, you can do all these things. You're like Superwoman. I'm watching Raw. I figure you could do that as well. I want to say welcome to your cousin, Keisha, and that's watching. Keisha. She's watching.
Yeah.
She calls me Kamem because my hat says Kamem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I've never met her, but we're cool. I know to the South Boston connection, we're Facebook friends. But sooner or later, I think one time we were in North Carolina for a wedding, but she was in Burlington area, but we were in Raleigh. But sooner or later, I will meet her because usually around tax time I didn't get to meet her, but we will. But you know what, folks? My special guest is Latasha Hewitt. She is a mortgage loan officer. She's a realtor. She's a mom, a daughter, a wife. But you know what? How do you manage all of these things? Because I'm going to come back to a couple of things because you also host a podcast that we're going to talk about in a minute. And you guys did a great job on Sunday. I was in there being a fool because that's why when someone's on a podcast, some people are just watching and they're not interacting. I'm the guy who stirs it up. But, how do you manage all of those hats for all the things that you do? And we'll talk about some of the other things that you do as well. You must be do you compartmentalize things very well? What's your secret?
I wish I had a special recipe. I don't think I've figured it out. But I'm very intentional about following all of my passions, particularly at this stage of life. I feel like I don't want to have any regrets in terms of, the things I said I wanted to do or the goals I wanted to accomplish. And so I try to kind of reach as close as I can to those things that I think can complement each other. So having my, being a realtor and having my real estate license and then coupling it with being a loan officer, I was also able to tack on being a property manager because that's all kind of related and in the same field. And so, so it is a lot. I don't recommend that you do a whole bunch of things, but I think if you can find some things that complement each other, if you're trying to diversify how you're able to help people, I think that's great. But it does require kind of giving yourself priorities. So, based on having a full-time job, which is very demanding, sometimes there are cases where that is where my focus is, but there are other times when I have downtime and I want to do something different. And that's the thing. I don't want to do the same thing all day long, all week long. And so this gives me the diversity in my schedule and helps me to develop gifts in different ways in different areas by diversifying my skills. But also the core of everything I do is I love helping people. And
Mhm.
so in every job that I do, every task that I feel like I'm helping someone. So that is the motivation for me. And so that's kind of how I manage it all. And I don't want to do this forever. I don't want to be this busy forever. I call this like my build season. Like right now, I'm going hard. I have the energy. My children are a little older.
You're still young, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm still young. So my goal is to just work really hard now. So in a few years, I can relax and enjoy the fruits of my labor. That's the goal.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I think you're blessed. And for people who know me, and you know me to a certain degree, I don't embellish. I'm very. If I said you're talented, you're talented. I just saw one of my friends on Facebook posted a reel of a preacher ridiculing a choir because they couldn't sing. He's like, every time you all get up there, making fun. I'm just that guy. What I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna dish you, but I'm not gonna embellish you and celebrate you for great things, and you're not doing it. So tonight, I'm so excited. My special guest is Latasha Hewitt from Latasha Hewitt Home. She's a realtor, a mortgage loan officer. Like I've already said, she's a daughter, a mother, and a wife as well. But you're doing so many things. Let's talk about, both of us are Seventh Adventists. We belong to the Allegheny East Conference, and you're the communications director. And I've been in Allegheny East Conference now since 2017, I believe. 2017. But the funny thing about it is, the CamCon conference that we recently had last month, it was off the chain. And as a matter of fact, I did not put your ad in the
It's okay. There's one place you didn't put it, Haven.
all right,
It's okay.
there. Shame on me. But you know what? What I'm going to do is I want to. I will share it to that, and I will also share it to the group, the WhatsApp group. I forgot that because I was so excited. Sometimes when you get so excited, you forget stuff. But you are the communications director, and I think about for 10 years now. How did that come about? What did you study in school? I mean, were you communications major, marketing, or what happened? How did you get?
I was actually an English major in my undergraduate degree, and I left Oakwood and went to Pine Forge Academy. That was my first job. I was an English literature teacher.
Uh-huh.
And even though I didn't go to school to teach, I enjoyed those 2 years. I think that they provided a great foundation for me starting out as a professional. But I wanted to go back to grad school because I really wanted to work for a magazine. I thought I wanted to, be on that side of the editorial side of things. And so I went to get my master's in English and publishing.
Okay.
From Rosemont College, which is also in this area.
All
And
right.
so once I was done with that, I wanted to work in the field. And so I did work for a couple of healthcare magazines for a few years. And after that, that's when I really transitioned into doing real estate a little bit more. But I ended up at Allegheny East because there was someone working there at the time who was looking for an administrative assistant. And he asked, actually, this is how the two kind of collide, the two worlds, because he was looking for a home in the area. So I was actually working with him as a real estate agent.
Okay.
And according to him, he enjoyed working with me. And so he said, she would be a great person to work with in the conference office.
Right.
When he first presented the idea to me, I just didn't feel like it aligned with anything that I wanted to do in terms of what I thought my career path would be. And no shade to administrative assistants because they do a lot of great things.
They do.
It wasn't something that had entered my mind that I wanted to do. But I had this thing with God. I told him, I said, God, if actually before that, I told him I'm not going to go back to work full time unless someone calls me and asks me to for a job. And I thought I was really setting God up because it was during the time where people were losing their jobs. It was, going through a lot in the country. And I just knew that would never happen. So that's why I felt confident saying that, like, Lord, I'm not going back to work until so when he called me, I kind of, you kind of know you have those conversations with God, and maybe no one else knows if you said it, and you kind of have that, like, is this really God doing this? Somebody calling me about a job?
Right.
And because of that, because I had said that, I went ahead and went on the interview, because I felt like if I'm going to make a contract with God and he shows up, I have to do my part. But even in that process, I thought that it wouldn't work out. And so I would be free and clear. But that's not how things went. I ended up getting the position
Uh-huh.
and working in the conference in youth ministries initially.
What?
Yeah, but because the communication director at the time knew my background, he knew that because I had taught at Pine Forge, which was across.
Right.
He knew my background. He invited me to be part of like the advisory team in the office, and so that was the case. And then after he retired, he recommended me, I think, along with maybe a couple of other people, for the position. And I was interviewed and got the position, and I've been there in that role for 10 years now. So that's kind of how my path ended up where it is. But I feel very blessed, and I really enjoy what I do and the people that we serve. I really do.
And like I told you yesterday when we spoke, I said, we all love you in the conference, but if no one loves you in the conference, I love you. I know your family loves you. But
I was gonna say that's such a broad. I love to think that is the case, but don't go looking for someone.
Because I think so because the first interaction I had with you, I think when I became communications director at my church, it was pleasant. And Latasha, you know me. If you stunk, I wouldn't be all over you like this. I wouldn't be. It's just not me. And I think people sometimes forget that the first you only have one time to make a good first impression, and yours was magnificent. And I think people believe that. One of the things I think, though, sometimes we take people for granted, and sometimes when we lose them, that's when we realize. And I think you're very valued in our conference. And it shows even with what we're going to talk about next in a moment. But, I believe so. And if there's somebody that don't like you in the conference, I'm just kidding. But,
I'm all right with not being liked by everybody.
But you know what, though? I've heard this. If everybody likes you, something is wrong.
Right. So.
Because everybody don't like everybody, because we're not, I guess we're not God, right? But I think on a whole, if I had to ask pastors, communications directors, members, people will say, and if I have Fred Betts and Keisha, they'll tell you the bomb. But this someone asked me, I'll say she's the bomb too. But I believe that you can't hide it. You see, when I played that little TikTok that I made to introduce you, I believe in my very core, in my very fabric, that's who you are. Because I just can't say certain things to people that's not true. It's just not me. It's just not me. So we're here tonight celebrating your accomplishments as a realtor. Newly minted mortgage loan officer, a mom, for at least 15 years, a wife almost 20 years now, a daughter for more than 15 years. And more than 15 years. I almost call your age out. But I'm learning because I'm still a dude. You got to learn sometimes. But tonight, like we said, we talk about, the home part. And before we leave again, we will have someone put it in the chat. I want to say welcome to my sister, Miss June Bardui Anselm, all the way in Boston, Massachusetts, watching Tuesdays with Terrence. My special guest is Latasha Hewitt. She's a very instrumental person for what we do at church, June. She's our communications director for the Allegheny East Conference. Judy, of Pine Forge, so she works right around the corner from there. And it's one of those things that we value her. So tonight we're talking to her as an entrepreneur. Yes, she has a full-time job as a communications director, and she does this and she does that. But you also do a podcast. You host a podcast.
Yeah, as part of my role as a communication director, the podcast was really birthed out of the pandemic. once we had to send out all of the memos that churches were going to be closing, well, not, the buildings were going to close.
Right.
I personally felt this pressure or weight of finding a way for people to still connect. I know that it's tough when you're not able to be with family and friends and the people you see week in and week out. And so we wanted to create a space where our members, whether they were in Virginia or Northern Jersey or DC or Pennsylvania or Maryland or Delaware and all the places that make up our conference, they had a place to come and talk and dialogue and even deal with some of the issues that they were facing and have other people say, yes, I feel the same way. And so the Upset podcast was birthed out of that. I had no idea, you have ideas of things you want to do, but you never know how it's going to be received. And I actually prayed about it because I don't believe in doing anything, first of all, without praying about it. But I definitely wanted God to inspire me in terms of who should be a part of it, what it would look like. And with all of the other things on my plate, I was a little hesitant because I knew it would be very demanding. And even now, there's so much more I wish we could do with the podcast. But I'm blessed by the impact it seems to be having from the response that we get from our constituents. I feel like we're able to connect with people that we don't even know. We meet in the chat and we have conversations, and then later we meet them somewhere else in the world, and they tell us who they are. And we feel like we know them. So it's like creating this online family. And I really love the podcast. It's probably one of my favorite things about my job as a communication director.
It's so funny you said, and I want to make this very clear. There's someone watching tonight from Ottawa, Canada. Her name is Delphina Leblanc, and she watches the Upset podcast sometimes. And you recognize her one time. You won't remember last year, and because our church services are streamed, she watches it. Religiously. Peach Goodwill watches it religiously. I watch it religiously. Sandy watches. So for example, what I'm saying to you here is that so you do have an impact. And two of those people I mentioned are not Adventists. So and they watch. So what I'm saying to you is it's not necessarily, and for those of you, you need to follow the Upset podcast. UPSET, the Upset podcast. Find it. I'll start sharing it sometimes when it's playing. And last Sunday they had a great panel. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and that should be scrolling down as well on the screen. And and mental health has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with anything. What it has to do with that we all, especially this month, we all need to be aware that if you need the help, get the help. And some of the counselors were on there were saying, just try it. Just try it sometimes. I know people watching now who are going through stuff, and sometimes, this weekend, we host, and I'll send you an invite Saturday afternoon if you're not doing anything. We have at Shiloh, we have what's called the Shiloh's Open Forum, and Dr. David Defoe is going to be our guest for Mental Health Awareness Month, and he'll be talking about some stuff. And I'm telling people, when you get free advice, even Pastor Keenan, who was on, was giving some great advice, saying that your pastor is not necessarily a counselor, and vice versa. So you guys are doing an excellent job on the podcast. So I remember when the pandemic first started, Dr. Defoe had a financial program, and he invited me, Troy Levy, I think it's Joseph. I can never say his last name. Right. And we were on there for a couple times, and it was great. And I think the pandemic closed churches, but it opened avenues. And the podcast, I should have put my Upset podcast gear where it's over there. I was just washing one of the t-shirts. But I want to thank you, for doing that, because it's helping all of us. Even like sometimes during football season, I'd watch. I'm a big sports fan, but I still watch. So I can do my comment.
Okay, the replay's fine. It doesn't have to be live.
Exactly. But I like to be alive so I can interact with you guys. Folks, my special guest is Latasha Hewitt. She's a realtor. If you're in the Pennsylvania area and you're looking to buy a home, that's who you should be talking to. All right, because she is the consummate professional. She's not just a virtuous woman, but she's a professional, and she can do for you what you need to do. She's a mortgage loan officer as well. Latasha, tell me, you just said that, right now, because you're young, you have all these things in the fire, so that one day you and Andre can relax on an island and chill. But sometimes, does it get overwhelming for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to say that I don't want to give the impression that this is a seamless thing and that every day is just a bed of roses. It's a lot. And I think one of the questions I have to ask myself, especially if I want to take on a new task, is it worth, will you get the return on investment? And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about the time, because that's another thing I'm valuing more than anything else is time and spending my time the way that I want. And, so sometimes, I know my husband, I mean, he supports me in a way where he lets me go because he knows I can't be bridled in some ways. So, but there are times where I feel overwhelmed. And there are even times when he may say to me, Tasha, let some things go. But I feel like when I have those down times, or when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I really pray about it. And I ask God, I said, God, remove the things that need to be removed, or work out the issues that are happening in this area if you need me to focus over here. And I have to say, every time that I've actually taken the time to pray that specific prayer, he has come through. And so there have been times when I was being torn in 3 different directions, and I was like, God, remove what needs to be removed. And 2 meetings were canceled, which allowed me to do the one thing. And so
All right.
these are the ways that I feel like I'm inviting God to be a part of the process. I think that's so important, because sometimes as people, we can do too much. We're trying to do too much. And I want to be careful about that. And I can be honest, I'm doing too much right now. But I definitely see that God is guiding me through all of them. I think he knows my heart. He knows my intent. And so he really helps me manage them. And when I get down, I kind of reset, recharge. I have to have those moments where I put my laptop away, where I just read a book, or I watch TV, or I spend time with my family, something that's not working, something that's not keeping me. And I think, my dad's on here. I think that work ethic, that just go, 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 I picked up from him. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just what I've seen and what I know. But I also recognize that sometimes it's okay to take certain things off your plate and put on the things that you really want. And so, like I said, I won't be in this busy season forever. There's going to come a time where I'm going to be doing those things that I want on my own time and my own schedule and by my own rules. That's the goal.
And that's a beautiful thing. My special guest this evening is Latasha Hewitt from Latasha Hewitt Home. She's a realtor, a mortgage loan officer, a podcast host, communications director, a mother, a wife, a daughter, all of those things. She juggles it very well. She does a good job. I want to say welcome to Valda Mary Pelletier Breedy, all the way in Massac in the Commonwealth of Dominica in the Caribbean.
Wow.
Tonight. Yeah. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. I have a very special lady on tonight. She's a virtuous woman. I look up to her, for how she talks and how she responds to things. She's like me. Those who know me, I just say what I gotta say. But she's very calculated, and I think that's a skill that your father. When I was at his home, I can see you and him. I can see it now because I didn't know him. Mm-hmm. I knew we were Facebook friends, but I didn't know him. Right. Because the time I visited your church, he was at the mission. And he wasn't there. But I can see you came from good stock because he's a good man. I love his style, and it resonates today. But folks, she's telling you that you got to reset. You got to sometimes put the laptop away. Myself as an entrepreneur, I work for Badubi Financial Services, which is me. In partnership with American Classic Agency, as you can see up there, we have a goal of $1.5 billion that we want to put transferable wealth back into our communities. Last year, our goal was 1.1 million. 1.1 billion, and we did 1.2, I think. No, our goal was 1 billion, and we did 1.1 or 1.2 billion. This year, our goal is 1.5 billion. And the reason why we're doing that is so that down the road, God forbid, life happens. And again, this is a financial services show. The only thing I do is income protection, debt elimination, and legacy creation. I don't fry chicken. I don't do hair. I don't do gardening. I'm not like Latasha. Latasha is the bomb. She can manage all of that stuff. I can only do one thing. But what I do know is that I keep hearing you talking about God. And I think that's what's the guiding force that helps you. And sometimes we don't give them enough praise for what we do. I know you work for a religious organization as well. But I think even if you did not work at Allegheny East Conference, I think your bringing up, or your upbringing, I should say, and where you went to school, has molded you into the woman that you are, that you know you need a greater source of power, especially in trying times like this month, Mental Health Awareness Month. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I'm definitely the product of two wonderful parents who did raise me in a Christian home with Christian values. I feel like all of the good things about me have come from both my parents. My dad's, he's a hard worker. He's a leader. My mom, she has a heart of gold, will help anyone, anywhere, in any situation. If you just say you need something, she's trying to find a way to make it happen. I feel like, every good thing about me, I got from my parents, and I definitely appreciate that. And the most important gift that they gave me was introducing me to God and Christ, and inviting, him to be a part of my life personally. And honestly, I don't know what I would do if he wasn't a part of my life, because he literally guides every part of my life. And even in real estate, that's not the religious side of what I do, but I pray for my clients. I become invested in.
So do I.
And when they're in a situation where they need a home, or they're getting stressed out, I take it to God. I'm like, Lord, these are your children. They need you. This is a situation. If this house is for them, let them get it. If it's not for them, let it fall through. And so when it happens, I have the confidence that I've prayed about it, and this is God's will. And so I can transfer that confidence to the client to say, it's okay. That means it's going to work out. That means something is better, instead of, having this anxiety about anything. And so to me, that relationship with God is a great stabilizer with anything that may be thrown your way. And so to me, I can't do without it.
I'm glad you're saying that. And I think, I'm going to put one more thing on your plate, and you're going to be like, how dare you? Who do you think you are? I'm going to say Mr. Big Stuff. But listen, have you ever thought about writing a book? And because you multitask, folks, I'm telling you, this woman, we were at a conference. She had everything. And, I know Amy was working with you as well, but everything was great. And I'm like, I love all the work that you do, but you didn't look stressed. And I'm just saying to myself, you have to deal with all the pictures. Some of those who didn't show up, so they were coming, and all those different things. And you are so cool. Come, me, I'd be mad as hell. I'd be like, you know what? I'd be like, I'll tell the president, don't give him no money. But the thing about it is, you are not me, and we should all be Christ-like in our attitudes. I believe that, and you exemplify that. But I think one of the things you need to do before you retire is write a book. I don't know what you're going to write it on. It could be multitasking. It could be on, how something, but there has to be something there has to be an impetus, to a catalyst for you to write a book. Have you ever thought about that at all?
I have not thought about it seriously. I've thought about it when I hear other people saying, I'm going to write a book. But one of the things I do believe as a communicator, as a journalist in some ways, is that everyone has a story. Even when you ask me to be on here, I'm like, what am I going to, really talk about? But, I interview people all the time. And one of the things I've found is that there's always something, no matter how mundane or normal an individual may feel, there's always something in your story that someone else can relate to and that can inspire them. And so I'm personally trying to get better with feeling like, oh, nobody wants to hear what I have to say or anything like that, because I have found such great value in hearing from other people. And so to answer that question, I've not seriously thought about what I would put in there, but that's just definitely something I would pray about. And I'm not opposed to. I just don't, sometimes we think something big has to happen, something catastrophic has to happen in your life, and you can write about boom, boom, boom. But sometimes it's just those simple things of how God has shown up in your life, or how you made it out of one crisis, how mothering or marriage. There's so many aspects of life that I could write about, but I haven't really figured out what it would be or what it would look like yet. No.
Well, I'll give you. I'll be the catalyst. I'll pay you to write the foreword. That's how I get to write the foreword. But you know what? Check this out. Time is running from us. We got 5 minutes, and at 8:05 I do have a meeting. But I'll say this. I have a client in Philly, and after we left the conference, I had to stop by her to drop something, and she changed some beneficiaries, and she goes, "Where in Pennsylvania were you?" I was like, "Oh, this, you never heard of it. This, it's like," I was like, "Douglasville, Pine Ford." She goes, is that where this lady's a Baptist. She goes, "Is that where Pine Ford is, a boarding school?" She knew I'm Adventist. I'm like, "Yeah." Like, she goes, "Oh, there used to be a girl," because this lady lives around the corner from Temple University, right?
Okay.
And she's like, my client, and she's like, and this lady's about 73 years old. She's like, "Oh yeah, there used to be a girl who used to live over there who used to attend that boarding school." So Pine Forge is known by people we don't know nationally, internationally, and people that you think they don't know that they know. And you being, you have a daughter there, you taught there, and it's a fabulous institution of higher learning. But this is my key. I keep telling my client, she needs to sell her house and move into a senior community, because her house, she's I don't think she ever will. She has no debt. Her house is paid for, her car is paid for. This lady can get. She wants to get $3 million by tomorrow. She can get it done like this, have it out like that. But if she was selling a house and she was looking for a realtor, you have 2 minutes, to tell the people why you are the realtor for the people in Greater Pennsylvania, Greater Philadelphia area. Greater Philadelphia. Why should people choose you, Latasha Hewitt, as their realtor in 2024?
Okay. Oh wow. Oh, spotlight's on me. Well, I think if you're looking for someone that cares about you and your situation and the goals that you want to accomplish, then I'm your person. I have a full-time job. I don't necessarily do real estate for the money. I do it because I want to help people walk through that process. So I'm someone that's going to be dedicated to my clients from start to finish. I'm going to make sure that they're educated on the whole process, that I'm communicating with them about deadlines and everything else that is required of them. So if you want someone who cares about you and not just the sale, then I'm the person for you. I feel like I give my heart to my clients, and I'm there to help you as best as I can. And I look forward to working with anyone who wants to work with me.
I will definitely, if there's anybody in that area looking for a realtor, I'm saying I know the perfect person for you. She will pray with you, make sure there's the right house that you need. Listen, young lady, our time has come and gone. I can't believe it. I want you to stay on the line for a minute, folks. But just before I play my theme song, folks, you guys have to listen to this. Just before I play my theme song, this is what I think of my friend. Go ahead.
Can I just say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this? Thank you for.
This ain't the only time you're coming.
No, but
for next year for Women's History Month, I want to celebrate you as well. I wanted to celebrate you this year for March for Women's History, but I had a plethora of women,
right?
And but this is Mother's Day month, so I got you on there. But this is what I think of her, guys.
A woman of God is beautiful because there is a gentleness about her. There is a peaceful spirit about her. A woman of God is beautiful because she radiates the love of God, the Word of God. She strives to be a reflection of Jesus Christ in how she talks, walks, and acts.
And that is Latasha Hewitt, originally from South Boston, Virginia. As we close, Tasha, just stay on for a moment. As we close, I want to thank you. For those of you, sometimes I lately haven't been asking you guys to like and share, but tonight I'm going to tell you to like and share this post, because this woman, she's an inspiration. I have friends who were texting me, women, telling me they couldn't wait for this show tonight. Women saying, "Wow, she's beautiful." They didn't even know who you are.
Oh wow!
They were
Thank
saying
you.
that,
Appreciate that.
and that speaks volumes. So I want to thank you so much. As we close, folks, just hold on, Tasha, for me. As we close, folks, I want to thank my special guest this evening, Miss Latasha Hewitt, for coming on the show. I was so excited that she was on here tonight. But you don't have to be a star to be on my show. You don't have to have $1 million to be on my show. But as a financial planner, I teach you 3 things: income protection, debt elimination, and legacy creation. And as Maynard sings, you don't have to be a star to be on my show. I pray that you have a good evening and God bless you. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Hold on, Latasha. Hold on. Come, family. You don't have to be a star to be on my show. Thank you to your husband and your kids. Thank you, Latasha Hewitt, for coming on tonight. Boom!
Family, come as you are with just your heart, and I'll help you win.
Good night, everybody.
Are you rejected or hurt? Tell me your worth, much more than you put in. Now I don't need no superstar.
But I have one tonight.
'Cause I'll accept you as you are. You won't be denied, 'cause I'm satisfied with the help that I can provide. You don't have to be rich some way to be on my show. You don't have to have $1 million family to be on my show.
Boom. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Like and share. And if there's anything you are for men or male or female, I want you to be a little like Mrs. Hewitt. Humble. I'm smiling because that's hard for me to do. And God-fearing. I think we all can do that. God bless you. Good night. One love until next Tuesday, where my special guest will be a PhD professor. God bless you and have a good night, everybody.